Ready. Welcome, everybody. This is the All Elite Murder Theater Podcast Special Edition. We are
technically this doesn't count as number 20, so
it doesn't count as number 20 because this is a special. This is the Battle of the Belts 2 that we watched last night, and we're reporting on it today. And maybe there's a geometric wrestle in this. I'm not exactly sure, but we'll see.
Nothing's gonna be.
I did see some shapes. I did see some shapes, but more on that another day. I'm gonna have to make a post.
We're all glad you're here, and we're gonna get into it.
Well, whatever. Starting off real easy. Okay.
Well, right. The other thing is I can't stop thinking that next time we need to actually hit each other with some belts in this special episode to make it special.
What do you mean hit each other with some belts?
I mean, we need to battle with some belts too. Like we need to have a mini battle of the belts where we just hit each other.
It's not called battle with the belts.
It's
battle. Okay. I'm confused. I get it now.
Calm down a little bit.
Carry on.
She just wants an excuse to hit me. See, I'm an abused spouse.
Oh, don't start that. That is going to start a controversy for anybody that doesn't know us. Don't listen to him. He's lying.
I'm kidding. I am not.
Only when he asked for it.
That's messed up.
So I could keep going on, but I won't.
Right. Here we go. The Battle of the Belts. The first match of the Battle of the Belts. We come out to Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky. Woo!
I just want to say this match was, at least the outcome of this match was pretty much exactly what I expected.
Really?
And so was a lot of the stuff that happened outside of the ring. A lot of that I thought was pretty predictable, and I kind of had a feeling they were going to throw the title over.
All right, let's get into that then. I had a play-by-play. As soon as Sammy came out, everybody was going, Sammy sucks, which is, whoa, he's really over as a heel. Now, does anybody think that was intended? I mean, did they intend to make Tay Conti and Sammy a heel at this point because of their relationship? Do you think that was intentional, or do you think that just kind of grew organically because the fans really weren't that into it? What do you think, Tammy?
Yeah, you, Tammy.
Well, I was gonna address this a little bit in my notes, but not as directly. But I do. Okay. So what I can say is that I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
And I'll just leave it at that for now.
All right. So they came out.
Here's what I think.
Okay.
I'm gonna let me talk, Rafe. Shit.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm gonna do the same thing Tammy does now. No. So I don't think it was intentional. I don't think they wanted to present them as heels. I think that part happened organically. What I do see happening, and it's throughout this match, there's a lot of obvious points to it. Sammy's leaning into it. He's leaning into the heel turn. I don't think he was ever really comfortable as a babyface. So I think, you see it with the weird stuff, the biting and the low blows and just various different parts throughout. Not really babyface type behavior. I think it's odd that they're still trying to keep Ty as a face when she's up. The writing was on the wall, and I think Sammy saw it and was like, okay, I got to lean into this or it's not going to go well. She's not, and I don't think that's going to have a good outcome for her. But let's talk about the match itself.
Yeah, let's talk about the match. Do we want to start with Tammy's notes? You want to do your notes, Tammy?
I don't ever care when I go. So whenever anybody else thinks it's the right time, then that's the right time for me.
Well, I think we should.
It's the right time.
It's the right time.
All right. So first, I noted that Scorpio had a cool outfit on, looking very sharp in his gear.
Did you take notice?
I do. I take notice of that.
He's always got some pretty sharp gear too.
Yeah, I think actual time and energy goes out into picking out these things. So I think it's fair to take notice. So I put my feelings are complicated on this match. And then I got into the biting right away. What? Wait, Scorpio's biting, now Sammy's biting. Oh my gosh, the crowd is split. Not a lot of love for Sammy, but Sammy's a really good wrestler. Let's not forget that. His moonsaults are great. They were measuring each other up. I noticed I heard the word measure a lot. So we might get into metrics instead of shape sometimes now. I heard measuring up, measuring this up, measuring that. So there was some measuring of these wrestlers up back and forth. I loved the beatings that were given, and Sammy was taking a little back-breaking beating. But then he takes out Sky, and then after that, Paige interrupts his whole comeback, and then they go back and forth, and then Ty interferes, however you like to say her name, Ty. And then next Paige Van Zant storms in, and they're all brawling. I don't know, like, I was shocked Sammy won. I was like, what? Sammy won? I did not see that coming. Oh, what? TF? Wait, I was gonna say what the fuck, but I actually put WTF. Super heel duo wrestle, because I do feel like they're going into to be super heels. Like, I feel like they have no other choice. Nobody's given them a choice. As they knew what went on behind the scenes, that there was a cheating situation going and all this bullshit that nobody really knows in real life, and it's really unfair, and everybody's just pissed to see them together. Now, a lot of their promos together have gotten on my last nerve, because it just was such a switch, and I'm used to dancey fun Ty, which I like. I actually like them both as faces better, but I have made an executive decision that they are two awesome wrestlers, and I feel that it's really unfair because of these assuming judgments on their personal life, that they were forced into being heels. And we're all like bitching about them together every week, but they're fucking badass wrestlers. I always loved Sammy. I always thought Ty was great. It has never come up to the level where she has the capability of. And to see this overshadowed, it's like they're treated them like Cody and Brandy. So now I'm saying, fuck that. I'm going to go against the fucking grain, and I am going to fucking be team Sammy and Ty from now on. Yes, you heard it here first.
All right. Oh,
I mean, they got a lot of room in the boat right now, so
there's a lot. I might be the only one, but you know what? I'm fucking Tammy. I can be the only one in the boat.
Thing around, right?
I am okay with that. I don't need your approval, everyone else. I'm gonna do my own thing, and I'm gonna support these wrestlers.
There is a lot of room in the boat. That was great. It's very, very true. Let me tell you what. I think that Scorpio Sky's reign as a champion was too short. I think he's a much better wrestler. I think the men of the year are great heels. I'm very upset with this scenario. I don't think that this should have come that quickly with Sammy. It should have been a little bit more of a build-up. That's my opinion. First of all, whenever I make these opinions, I never take away from the quality of the wrestler that they really are. I'm just going with the scenarios and the stories. And it's always entertaining to me, and it's always great wrestling. I just want to preface that as saying that. But as far as like just the storylines going, and I don't like it. I don't like Ty Conti and Sammy like this. I think it to me, it takes away from how good of the wrestlers that they are and distracts from it. Like the whole thing distracts from it. Their PDAs distract from it. Their scenarios outside the ring distract from it. And but I mean, if people enjoy that and it's entertaining to them, that's great. But to me, I don't know. I'm not that into it. But I am very curious to see the Paige Van Zant Ty Conti match, which we know is going to happen. Or maybe there's going to be an intergender match where it's going to be, Ty and Sammy versus Paige and someone out of Men of the Year.
Kind of mixed tag or
some kind of mixed tag. That might be cool. Was the match good? Yeah, man. The match was great. I mean, just the way that they played it out. The repeated backbreakers were great. Sammy with the Spanish Fly comeback, and then Ethan Page comes out and starts yelling at Ty Conte, and then the Shooting Star wipes everybody out, the whole group, and Ty slaps what's his name's hand to get him off of him, and then the whole thing breaks out, and I thought it was great. And then of course, they both kind of illustrated them both being heels. So like Scorpio pokes him in the eye, but then all of a sudden he turns around and then Sammy gives him the low blow and then he wins. I was shocked that he won. I was for sure shocked that he won. So AEW did your job, man. It was great. It's cool. Chris, what'd you think, man?
Okay, so I hate the storyline with Sammy and Ty. I haven't been a fan of really any of these segments that have involved them with Dan Lambert's people and all this stuff. I have not been a fan of Paige Van Zandt coming in, none of it. I loved almost this whole thing. And the reason I think the Sammy thing, getting the title back, was predictable was because they took the title off of him too soon after the whole Cody thing, and then Cody was gone. None of that felt right.
Right.
And I think they're making up for that now. They realize that maybe Scorp didn't need to take that title right now, and that I feel like maybe they have a bigger plan for him. They should, because he's awesome. But yeah, like when they took it away, we were all pissed. Like that shouldn't have happened that way, et cetera, et cetera. Now he's got it back. However, they have this heel dynamic that's been thrust upon them by the crowd, turning on them because they keep doing the relationship stuff and kind of throwing it in the crowd's face all the time. Like, I get it. You're young and whatever. You don't give a fuck about anybody and you don't feel like you need to prove yourself and you're just going to be who you are, whatever. Cool. But it's still not working to have you over with fans. So in order to fix that and to get back over with fans, I've always thought Sammy was more comfortable as a heel. Even when he was over with everybody, he was still a heel. Like the whole thing with the Inner Circle that whole time, that's what pushed him to start going towards the babyface, was people loved him so much. So I think he can fit right back in, and it'll help instead of a match like this where you get a lot of chanting against him right off the bat and you get people booing him. Instead, it's going to be like it used to be, where it's heel Sammy, we love this, and everybody's going to be cheering him from the beginning again. He hasn't exactly been getting great reactions for the last few weeks. This was definitely one of the worst, I think. But I thought the majority of this match was excellent. The in-ring work here was stellar. Scorpio Sky looked amazing. Sammy looked amazing. Neither one of them lost anything with this title exchange at all. I do think that it's unfortunate that Scorpio had to have it for a minute, because he doesn't deserve to have a short reign with it. He deserves to have a longer reign with a longer title. I feel like he's underutilized and has been for a long time. And there was a whole thing with Darby Allin and stuff before, but none of that ever really blossomed into anything. So hopefully they find a place for him down the road where he can really kind of build up some momentum as like a title holder in the company and be kind of, somebody that you actually want to pay attention to all the time. Because I don't know that he necessarily has that right now. Now, as far as all the stuff outside the ring, I thought Paige was great in this. I normally hate when she comes out because it's just kind of annoying. She's not a great talker. There was really no talking necessary here. And this fight felt like they actually were like, hey, I don't like you. Well, look, I don't like you either. If I see you, we're going to fight. And then they fought. It felt more real and more organic than the last few confrontations between them have.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know that this match should have went on first. I think maybe this match could have been saved until maybe right before, like maybe switch it with the Gresham Castle match, because I don't know, that it seems like the natural momentum in the building kind of was like, we don't really know how to feel about the first match. And then the middle match, they're like, we don't know these guys at all. Like you could tell, like everybody was like, oh yeah, I read about this. And then they were just like, this is cool. And those dudes really had to prove themselves in the ring, but we'll get to that. But I think this should have went on either second, maybe last, because it was the only title change. I think that kind of big momentum at the end would have kind of left this show on a better note. But that doesn't take away from the third match either. So long story short, I thought I was going to hate this. I actually loved it. I figured they were going to swap the title. They did. for once, I'm surprised that I was right. Like normally, I have a lot of predictions that are wrong a lot, especially with AEW the last couple of months. So yeah, I really liked it. I have not that much bad stuff to say. I do have some stuff, but it's not something we've already not said.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, overall, it was entertaining. Entertaining. What was your wrestle, Tammy? What was your wrestle again? What did you call it?
A WTF super heel duo wrestle. It's a long one again, but I mean, I just have to write what comes up. It's a long one.
There you go. It was a great, again, super entertaining. Loved it. Loved the surprise. I was just shocked.
I was surprised. That's where like, WTF comes in.
Boo! I was like, lame. That sucks, but I can see why it happened. And then we get into Dalton Castle versus Jonathan Gresham. Now since I took some dives into ROH and kind of looked at it, and then Tammy and I watched the pre-match to the Ring of Honor pay-per-view event. We saw Dalton Castle with the boys, but he was calling them the little chickens or something like that at that match. And we knew that he was very flamboyant and pretty awesome entertainer and a good wrestler on top of it. Now, I've heard of Jonathan Gresham because I saw an old the ROH thing with him and Lethal. I watched that match. It's an older match where he took the title off of Lethal, I think it was. And so I was kind of familiar with him too. So when they came out, I was like, oh, wow, this is going to be cool, man. And I'll tell you, I think it lived up to the hype because I think that it was fun, man. I mean, you could tell these guys have worked together for a while. They had everything coordinated. Everything was smooth. It was so funny when Excalibur's, when Dalton Castle's coming down the runway and Excalibur says he likes to live his life deliciously, is what Excalibur said. I thought that was the best line. So, and then the guys were fanning him. The boys were fanning Dalton Castle. Everything was very acrobatic. And then, Gresham is so smooth with his moves, man, that it seemed like every move was never awkward, was always fluid and flew nicely. I said it before, they work well together as part of my notes. Castle had some great counters. That swing miss match was something I've not seen before. And even the announcers were like, I've never seen this in the history of wrestling, where they were swinging and missing and swinging and missing and swinging and missing. And then they did the gut wrench flips a whole bunch of times, which I thought was totally amazing.
That spot was bananas.
Spot was great. You know what I mean? So I think everything about this match was super cool. And I hope that the AEW fans are like, man, we got to see more of matches like this come over to AEW, man. I thought it was spectacular. So, exactly. I mean, that's my opinion on it. And then, you got the big Santam Singh comes out and then kind of like messes up everything. Lethal messes everything up. And then you see Lee Moriarty come out and Seidel comes out. And then that big giant dude just slams the both of them and wipes them out, which is setting up this whole thing, which is, and then all of a sudden, Samoa Joe comes busting out. It was like totally exciting all the way to the end. So I dug it. I thought it was great. Tammy, let's hear your notes. All right.
I think you caught her off guard.
Dalton Castle versus Gresham. Octopus? ? Some razzle dazzle. I have no idea what to expect with these two. Some good leapfrogs, some ducking back and forth. These guys are serving a super decent match. I'm enjoying. Now they're rolling around like a ball. #shapes. Geometric. Now you get it. Now we see Octopus move. And now Gresham wins. I loved him, actually. A delightfully fresh wrestle. And then basketball player takes out the chickens and beats Gresham? Are they still called chickens here?
No, they're the boys.
Oh, the chickens? And then Lee Moriarty comes out And then he's trying to fight the giant basketball player. Then Seidel with a crutch is brawling with Lethal and a basketball player. Samoa Joe busts in, and then Samoa Joe wants to fight Satnam Singh. Is this basketball player? Has he wrestled before? Samoa Joe will show him what's up. Those are my notes.
That's beautiful.
I love it.
Hashtag, what was that hashtag? Geometrics?
Shapes.
Geometric shapes.
Oh man, that's good. I'm glad everybody liked this because it was really, really fun. It was so good. I love Castle's gimmick. If you can call it a gimmick. I don't know what it is. It's new, and that's great. It's so different and unique from your normal wrestling style gimmicks. It's so bizarre and wonderful that it fits perfectly into this kind of world. Yeah, and Gresham's a monster. I had no idea this match was going to be as exciting as it was, and so many spots were going to go down. The miss, the all the misses in a row. That was it was so ridiculous, but it's perfect for something like this.
Oh yeah.
And nobody hated that. And that's what's crazy to me. You get people that hate like couples and stuff in wrestling, but you see a match where there's like a whole bunch of misses in a row and everybody's like, this is great. It makes perfect sense. I mean, that's logic, right? Yeah, I had a really good time with this. And the best part is it made Ring of Honor and their wrestlers look amazing. Coming to a show like this and having a match like this, it's like, I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't here for this, and I fucking love it. Yeah. The bit with Satnam at the end and Lethal at the end when he came in, and then Joe came out and all that stuff. I think it's cool that Joe's there as a Ring of Honor title holder now, so he got to come out and do a Ring of Honor bit in a Ring of Honor match with another Ring of Honor champion. I think that's at least a start of Tony Khan booking it well. So I'm excited about the future of the Ring of Honor stuff. Speaking of which, there's obviously I texted you guys about this. I don't know that we talked about it on the podcast though. They've announced this new working relationship with New Japan. So that's going to be stuff that's going to be incorporated for now. And then they're still talking about this HBO Max streaming deal for at least the company as a whole, if not having like the whole Ring of Honor back library and all that stuff on there. This is a chance for AEW to really take what they already have, add a history to their own brand, and then be able to elevate everything further than they've been able to so far because they have so much richness within the company now. Mm-hmm. This is an exciting time, man.
Yeah,
I think so too. I think pulling in the whole Ring of Honor thing and having all of these options just creates just 10 times more entertainment for everybody that's involved. You know what I mean? Will it hurt some of the lower level wrestlers? I mean, it could, but then again, it could not. They could be the ones that are come up through the Ring of Honor or sneak in the back door of AEW. So whatever the case is, I mean, that was exciting. That was an exciting match last night. I thought I enjoyed it. And if they keep bringing stuff like that over from Ring of Honor into AEW and then vice versa, like you said, the future's great. It's looking good, and it's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, I think regardless, whenever Ring of Honor gets any kind of programs, that's going to give talent another place to go and be showcased. That includes the existing roster. That includes whoever comes over from Ring of Honor. Yes, it's a lot of people to deal with, but it's still more than the 2 shows a week they have right now, plus the 2 YouTube shows. So there's a lot more places to fit people into different storylines and stuff and use people more and have different things happening than there have been. So all these times that we've said, this person should be on TV more, that person needs more attention. They might get a lot of that from this. Hopefully it moves forward with like just more and more stuff that's good. Like all of it's great content, and then we could just soak it all up and talk about it every week.
Yeah, and it'll be great. And it's just so fun. It's fun, man. I'm psyched. You know?
Yeah.
Gresham won me over last night for sure, man. I was like, this dude's a powerhouse, man. He's so smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, they really both did, you know? So, I mean, it's hard to say if I liked one or the other. I thought they were both equally awesome. So, but yeah, man, it was fun. So then after that, we got into Nyla Rose versus Thunder Rosa for the championship. Who wants to start this one off? I've got some thoughts, but I want to hear everybody else's first.
Tammy's notes.
Tammy's notes.
Well, I put Nyla looks fantastic. And Thunder Rosa is looking gorgeous too. La Mera Mera. Love T Rosa launching off the ring post. Thunder doing great. I have no idea what this word I wrote is. Lords, lounge, lurds, lunches, launches. It must be launches because she was launching.
It's either launches or lunges.
I already did launch. I already mentioned her launching, but I had to like messily write it again. Launching. Nyla serves a headbutt and some brutality. Thunder has her work cut out for her with this wrestler. She's up to the task though. Nyla catches T Rosa. A great back and forth. Some crashes and burns. Ooh, they are serving a close match. But Thunder got it. She retains. Yay. A worthy wrestle.
A worthy wrestle?
Yes.
I like
because
it.
I think they're both really good wrestlers. They both have champion qualities. And I thought that they like made the size difference seem plausible. You know, I always look at that with the size differences. Like when someone is like super powerhouse and someone's tiny, like I look at how are they going to make this, you know, Nyla comes and just destroys people like Jade does. But Thunder has a great way of countering to make it look plausible, even though she's tiny.
Right.
So I like that.
Right. You know, it's like you got all your strong ladies in AEW. You got Statlander, you got Jade, you got Nyla. And so when those guys go in the ring or those ladies go in the ring, you see these smaller performers and you're like, okay, how is this going to sell? How is this going to work? And the way that they set this up, they did it perfectly because Thunder Rosa pulled out every trick in the book to win. And I think that's what made it so cool. Like,
well, I also think it gives people hope, don't you?
Yeah. Cause it's like, okay, she's like, so she's got some muscle advantage on me. So I've got to do this. And it made her retaining this belt title super plausible because she used the ropes to her advantage. She used Nyla's weight against her to throw her out of the ring a couple times. She used her feet. She did everything that she was supposed to do, which makes her one of the top 3 in the women's division of AEW because of her skill.
Yeah.
And so like what was it? The code red she did, the counter code red, where it looked like I think Nyla caught her off the rope and then flipped her around, was about to power bomb her, and then Thunder Rosa flipped her over for a code red. That was awesome. I mean, that's a highlight reel right there. I can't believe that's not all over the internet and people are watching that 3-4 times because that was a couple
days. It's Easter.
That's
Those
true.
Those 2 are my favorites.
It was that was killer. I mean, that was killer. So I mean, that code red right there made the match and made it's like, okay, Thunder could do it because she's just got the skills, man. She's just been through the system and she killed it. So I enjoyed this match a lot. I thought it was a good retaining of the belt and a fun, exciting match. So I don't know. What'd you think, Chris?
I thought this was great.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Rosa seemingly back to being on her A game. We talked about previously. I mean, this was such a better match than what we saw with Britt Baker in their last outing. And I don't know if that's because of the opponent, but her and Nyla always put on bangers. When those 2 are in the ring, it's always magical and it's always spectacular and ultra violent. So watching this was perfect, in my opinion, as far as what you want to see for a title being retained and somebody holding on to it through like issues and adversity, right? So here's my issue. Nyla Rose is like a workhorse for the company. They can always go back to her and say, look, we need a credible opponent for somebody. You're not going to win, but we need everybody to think you will. And she's so fantastic at that. And it sucks that I'm not sure she's going to get a hold of the women's titles, any of them, for quite a while. I think she's just going to be used in this kind of superior role where she's not really in the title picture, but they bring her out for when somebody needs to like prove themselves to the crowd. To either one, just give her a title and let her hold it for a long time. And then when somebody's good and they're awesome in the company, then yes, give it to them by all means. But between her, Serena Deeb maybe, and like less than I could count on one hand, there's only a few credible women's champions in this company right now. She is certainly one of them.
Yeah.
And that bitch, she did the power bomb on the ring apron on the side there, and Rosa just like kind of like was flattened for a minute. There was so many good spots in here. Rosa killed this. It was a lot of action, and it was well paced. It didn't feel too slow. It didn't feel too fast. There was no gaps. It was all wonderful. I can't believe I had 3 fun matches on an AEW show, and I have nothing to complain about on this episode.
We'll see what Craig has to say. Oh, that's right.
Traditionally, there's at least something that I don't like that much, but I really, really like this show way better than the first Battle of the Belts.
Agreed.
And in particular, this match I think was great for both of them.
Right. Yeah, and I think that the Britt Baker match when she took the belt, Thunder Rosa was hurt, man. We knew she was hurt, so that could have been. Right. It didn't seem right, so that could have been a better match. It should have been this match. Should have been that match. You know what I mean? As the way things played out and the way Thunder Rosa won this match, it should have been that way with Britt. But obviously, it couldn't be because Thunder Rosa was obviously injured. She was injured for like a couple weeks. We could tell, but she came into this one. She was ready to go, and it was a battle. And I mean, no complaints, man. It was a great night of wrestling. I thought it was awesome. All of it, all around. I'm glad that they're setting up the Jay Lethal thing, with Samoa Joe and getting that whole rivalry going. So that's going to, moving forward, that's going to be fun to see. That dude, that guy, he's huge. I mean, he's just like
he's a very unique specimen. I mean. And it's weird because you see him walking and it just looks like they superimposed him or something, because it doesn't feel like real life proportions. That guy is fucking huge.
He's just
Does he wrestle already somewhere else, or is he?
No. I guess he was just a basketball player, and then he's been training like the last 8 months with AEW people, and this is a new person. Incredible, this guy's size though.
Yes.
And he moves
make
too.
For some interesting matches.
But he's agile.
A very unique presence.
But he's agile,
which is not really common for when you're talking about really tall people in wrestling. Normally, there's not a lot of like fast movements and stuff. It's kind of like the whole like, I'm a giant, I'm gonna crush you. And then this guy, he's running on all cylinders. And I mean, if they can keep that momentum going and keep the performance going, so it's always like that guy is going to make $1 bajillion.
A bajillion.
I'm not joking. He's going to make some decent money.
All right, man. So that
one thing I want to say before we move on,
right?
The Rosa thing. Tammy, and I think Rafe, you talked about it too. Rosa Polt was like, she was going for everything in this match, trying to do everything she could to make this happen. And I think that's like a quality she almost always has. And I think that's part of what was missing from that cage match. She just didn't have the energy to be able to pull out all the stops. And in this one, like you can't, she's a very strong champion now. Not just because, people weren't into it before, or she was undervalued or whatever before. I think now, after that particular match, after coming out of, she hasn't wrestled at all really on AEW TV since that title. So
true.
Yeah. This made her look amazing. And Nyla shined as well. So yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with her title program now, though.
Well, yeah, you got a lot of people wanting to go after it. Like, think about it. Okay, so look, you got Ruby Soho that wants it. You got Jamie Hayter that wants it. You got Tony Storm that can go after it. You've got Britt Baker that wants to get it again. You've got a lot of people that can make a lot of great matches, just title defenses against this. So,
Deeb.
Serena Deeb go after it. Hikaru Shida go after it again. You know what I mean? You've got a number of people. Marina Shafir, right? Maybe Jade wants to, belt collect.
Right.
There's
this Owen Hart tournament thing is probably going to play into that, I would imagine.
But
will the results from that also yield like 2 challengers for both of the titles?
Maybe.
I wonder.
Yeah, that's good to speculate, but I think it sets it up for a lot, to be perfectly honest with you. I think she could defend her title against almost all the top ladies in the ladies division.
For sure.
And they all be great matches because Thunder knows what she's doing, man. She truly knows the moves. And like they even mentioned in commentary, there's some moves that we haven't seen her do that she did. You know what I mean? Which was cool. They even said it on, I think Taz mentioned it. Because there's a couple of moves I've not seen. She keeps it fresh, and she's, she worked for it. So I thought it was awesome. So, yeah, that's it, man. So
we got an interesting week coming up.
We do. It's going to be,
Dynamite this week is the casket match, coffin match in AEW, with Idolo and Darby Allin, and then CM Punk versus Dustin Rhodes should be great. Speaking of Britt Baker, she's fighting someone for the Owen Hart thing. Jungle Boy versus Kyle O'Reilly is this week. Wardlow and the Butcher. That match is coming up. And supposedly Hook is also going to be on Dynamite this week. So don't know what they're going to do there, but normally he just comes out in a squash on Rampage. Also Tony Khan's got this big announcement too.
Yeah. Yep. Speculation is it's the New Japan deal. So we'll see. That's what everybody speculates.
Yeah. That would make sense.
So
I hope there's more to it than that,
I hope there's more to it too. So, but yeah. All right. Are we all good? Anything else?
I'm excited.
All right. So without further ado, this was our special edition of Battle of the Belts. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time and next week. Bye, everybody.